right? Right, so let's go back to Psalms. Psalms chapter 19. And it says what? In verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, his judgments, and right, and doing what thus saith the Lord. Keeping these understandings that he have given us in these last days, and instruction that show us how to walk in the darkness, man. Think about somebody being in the dark. You can instruct them on what to do if you can see. If you have night vision goggles on, right? And you're instructing somebody, come this way, come towards me, follow my voice, right? These things are obscure because they can't see. But as they get to you and you're able to share with them, now I can give you night vision goggles so you can see. That's the word of the Lord in these last days, man, right? So you got to understand these things, right? So it says what? Moreover, by them is my servant warned. Warned of what? To keep the works, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, flee death. Rightly divide the word of truth. Take upon you clean ways. Put on thy beautiful garments, right? It says he is warned, and in keeping them, there is great reward. So the Lord going to bring reward to those that endure to the end. He's going to give reward to those that keep his judgments and are happy in his judgments, right? And rejoice in his judgments, right? It says, who can understand his errors, right? So you got to understand your error. You got to understand the things that have befallen our people in these last days and understand why these things have happened. Understand the corruption that the Lord sees and that the Lord sees and is revealing in these last days, right? It says, who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from my secret faults. So even the things that you were embarrassed to talk about, guess what? The Bible speaks of them and said that these are exceeding sin. These are exceeding evil. And you're supposed to flee from those things, right? And even those brothers that's in this truth, as we are being quickened by the Spirit more and more to cast off these evil things, these evil thoughts, evil sins, right? It says, who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from my secret faults. Faults is like a wrong that you've done, right? Transgressions. So it says, keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion. Don't yield yourself to evil things. The Lord actually teaches you the wisdom of turning away from a woman, turning away from the beauty of a woman, right? Because you can be taken just by looking upon her, right? And guess what? Looking upon a harlot, right? Some of these women are harlots. Some of these women have forefathers some of these women are tares, right? Some of these women hate the word of the Lord. Some of these women are witches. Some of these women are greedy, right? They'll make you broke, right? That little wisdom tells you to turn away from what? Those are presumptuous sins. Sin that you haven't even been experienced in yet, right? When you read the word of the Lord, you can understand these things. When somebody teaches you these things, now you're going to have a stronger understanding, right? So it says what? Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgressions. Let the words of thy mouth and the meditation of thy heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer, right? So the words of your mouth got to line up with the Most High God. Your words got to be set in order, right? This is a land where there is no order. So you can't speak as the wicked. You got to speak as the righteous, man. You got to separate the light from the darkness in your conversation. There's conversations in the dark and there's conversations in the light. What is that speaking of? The light conversations have everything to do with sin and wickedness. The light conversation has everything to do with righteousness, everything to do with the Lord's laws, statutes, commandments, right? Wisdom, exposing the things that are in the dark. The dark things are evils, right? The dark things are licenses given by the wicked to do and commit things that are not right, things that are not natural, right? The Lord gave us natural laws, things that are obviously natural to us. And guess what? The wicked turn it upside down, man. Right? Right? So that's what the light is doing, exposing those things that are in the dark, evil things, everything that's against the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Right? So it says, and let the meditation of my heart, the things that you think upon, be acceptable in thy sight. Because the Lord knows your thoughts. He knows what you're thinking, right? And it says what? O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. It says the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. So guess what? We already went over that. So right, it says, you know, you got to have this mindset. You got to have this mindset to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and move and be occupied in truth, man. Right? Because the Lord knows your wicked mind. That's why we go out here. We know the things that come into our minds, because guess what? The Lord have turned on a light for us, and therefore we know the thoughts of our brethren. We know what happens when our brother look upon a woman, right? He designed her in his heart, right? He want to lay with her, right? He want to make her his wife, right? Make her his wife, right? Even though he has not. They don't know if she's righteous. He doesn't know if she is open to the things of the scriptures, right? When our people see the riches of this world, we know what comes up into the mind of our people. You want to steal from your brother, you start coveting for these things. Hey, you're gonna go out of your wits to have these worldly possessions, man. You're gonna increase hell upon yourself for things that are gonna come to nothing. So the Lord knows the mindset that you have, man. He knows what comes into your head. This is Ezekiel chapter 11. Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse, let me see. Let's start at verse 2. It says, then said he unto me, Son of man, these are the men that devise mischief and give wicked counsel in this city, which say, it is not near, let us build houses. This city is the cauldron, and we be the flesh. Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, O son of man. See, our people trying to live it up here. Our people are being inflamed with the ways of the wicked. Right? Even the lowly and downtrodden of our people will say, nah, I don't believe in that Bible, I don't believe in that, so on and so forth. Right? Because they don't believe in the fact that this system is coming down. Even being downtrodden and oppressed, they still love this wicked system. They still love all the pleasures of this world. They still love the fact that the wicked tells them they can be gay, homosexual, and all these other manner of evil things. They love those things. They love it where they love the things where they are being told that they can do whatever they want, right? They can live it up. You only live once. Live your life. Women love to rule over their husbands, right? They love these manner of things, right? So they say what? It is not near. Let us build houses. This city is the cauldron, we be the flesh, right? Let's live it up. So it says what? Which say it is not near. Let us build houses. This city be the cauldron, we be the flesh, therefore prophesy against them, son of man. So these are people that was in Israel at the time before the conquering, but yet, even in these last days, our people are living it up. They saying these plagues are peace, and we agree with hell, we agree with death. Hey man, let's continue to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, do everything that's against the law, statutes, and commandments. Let's mock those who wake up early in the morning to teach us and call us back to the ways of the Lord. Let's say that they don't know what's going on. Let's hear smooth things in these last days. Let's strengthen ourselves in the strength of Babylon. This is what our people are saying, right? So the Lord tells us to prophesy against them. He says, the Spirit of the Lord fell upon me and said unto me, speak, thus saith the Lord. Thus have ye said, O house of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind, every one of them. Ye have multiplied your slain in this city, and ye have filled the streets thereof with the slain. Right? And we are scattering our own people. We are showing our people that, look, hey, we can do whatever we want here. Everything is going to turn out good for us. Guess what? The Lord is destroying this wicked nation and all these other nations that set up in glory, right? Through stealing and murdering and deceiving our people, right? The Lord has set us above all people that are upon the face of the earth, and that's why these nations are angry. If the Bible wasn't real, if the prophecies wasn't real, if the truth was not real, then guess what? We would all be destroyed. We'd be totally extinct. But guess what? The Lord has preserved us, man. He has not made a full end of us. The Lord has not made a full end of us, and we are still here, right? So it says what? It says what? I know the thoughts that come into your mind. Ye have multiplied your slain in the city. Our people are scattering our own people. And like I say, the Lord knows the thoughts that comes into your mind. He knows that the desires that you have, right? He knows that is not in you to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and strength, right? Your righteousness pass away like a cloud, man. That is what the Lord is exposing to us, and we got to seek the old path and really by experience understand these things, right? Because this land is soon to pass away. You're not going to have no place to rest, right? Sooner or later, all hell going to break loose, and you're going to be left out here without understanding. Because you already don't have understanding in this world. That's why you downtrodden and have nothing. Sooner or later, this world going to pass away, and you ain't going to understand that either. You got to wake up. That's why the scripture says, surely these are poor, because they know not the judgment of the Lord their God, right? So the Lord say he knows your mind, right? But he's calling you to repentance, right? He's calling you to repent. So let's go to Sirach chapter 17. He knows your mind. Right? Sirach chapter 17 and verse 8. And it says what? He set his eye up on the hearts that he might show them the greatness of his works. And that's through his word, and through his judgments, and through his statutes, and through his commandments, and through his experiences that he has put on us, right? And opening our ear in affliction. It says he gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever. It says that they might declare his works with understanding. So it's meant for us to declare the works of the Lord, the creation, right? The trees, like I spoke of, right? The trees that are planted, that were planted by the Lord are for righteousness, man, right? The trees that the wicked sow, right, with evil words, right, with evil seducings, right? Those are going to be plucked down and cast into the fire. The Lord said we should be like a tree planted by the waters, man, having knowledge and wisdom, man, right? We should not be moved, right? In this truth, in his understanding, right? It says what? He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding. And the elect shall praise his holy name, right? And just like Yahushua did the mighty acts, many mighty acts, right? In Jerusalem, right? Walking on water. And what does the water symbolize? The waters symbolize these wicked nations. Like Moses, like the waters parted for the children of Israel. What does the water symbolize? Many wicked nations, man. Wicked peoples, right? Let's get that in Isaiah. That's what the waters symbolize. Wicked, evil people, man. Nations that's gathered against Israel. Gathering together waters, the Lord called it good. Because what he going to do against those waters? Right? He's going to destroy them. He's going to confound them. Right? Just like the sand rose up against the water in second Ezra chapter, the sand rose up and stopped the waters. In second Ezra, those are the many nations that's going to come when they devour the wood with the fire, right? They're going to think they're going to rule. But no, the Lord going to stop it. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 17. Isaiah 17 and 12. It says what? Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas. Right? Make a noise like the noise of the seas. Right? And the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but Yahweh shall rebuke them. So just like Moses in his mighty act of the Lord, the mighty acts of the Lord Lord empowered Moses, gave Moses showed that Moses had extraterrestrial, gave Moses extraterrestrial power, so to speak, right? Which is his spirit, which is the spirit of the Lord. And look, the waters was, the proud waters was parted. The proud waters, as it says in what? Psalms chapter 124, was parted, right? And guess what? The children of Israel walked through on dry land, right? Even the dampness that the earth, that the waters naturally leaves behind. The people didn't sink into some quicksand, right? They walked on dry land, right? That's the act of the Lord. Yahushua walked on the water, right? Yahushua walked on the water. He's walking above these waters, man. and caused Peter to do the same thing, right? So guess what? The Lord rebuked the waters, man. It says what? In Isaiah chapter 17, speaking of water, it says, woe. It says, woe to the multitude of many waters, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and the rushing of nations, that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but Yahweh shall rebuke them. Yahweh going to rebuke them, right? And they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains, right? That chaff, speaking about Daniel, like the statue and the remains of that statue is going to be turned into chaff, right? So what am I saying? Guess what? These nations are also like many waters, right? And guess what? Yahweh Shah walked on those waters. Moses parted those waters. So what is it? Let's go back to Sirach chapter 17 and read that again in verse 10. It says, or verse 9, he gave them to glory. He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding. So we have understanding, a deeper understanding of what he did with those waters, right? Wisdom teaches us those things, man. You can conjecture that is the prediction of what's going to happen. That was just like a little preview, right? Well, Yahweh Shah walked on those waters, which is no man can do that, right? It passes all understanding. But Yahweh Shah, just like he walked on those waters, hey man, he gonna control those waters, and he rebuked the waters, man, the roaring and raging waters, just like in Jonah. Hey, Jonah was taken down into the depth of the water, man, taken down into hell, right, in the belly of hell, in destruction, in the pit, man. You know, that's his mighty acts. You see what I'm saying? Those are the mighty acts of the Most High God, man. And guess what? We have knowledge. We can look deep into those things and understand. We can conjecture, all right, that these things are going to happen physically to the wicked. He's going to rebuke these nations that gather against Israel. He's going to rebuke those nations that gather against Yahweh Shah, the man that come out of the sea, huh? The man that come out of the waters that are above the waters. See that? Even the creation, the waters that are above the waters, hey, these not holy, that's holy. That's why he say, I come from above, you are from beneath. See that? So, hey, you gotta have this understanding. Anything that makes you use this sword as a sword, right? That's the increase of the Lord, man. Right? So, let's keep going. And it says what? He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever, that they might declare his works with understanding. And the elect shall praise his holy name. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance. Who he give the law to? To Israel, man. He didn't give the law to no other nation. He gave it to Israel. He hasn't dealt so with any other nation, as the scripture says, right? Scripture say he hasn't dealt so with any other nation. We got to understand these things as it is written. These are the things that give us hope. These are the things that comfort us, because the wicked take upon themselves their own justice and judgment whenever they want. Like I said to the guy that I was talking to, you know, this nation has shown that they know what true justice and judgment is, because they go against the wicked doers, right? They go against their own people, saying, hey, we're gonna weaken your hand and your economy. We're gonna do all we're gonna gather together against your wickedness. We're gonna gather against your wickedness, Putin, Vladimir Putin. We're gonna gather against your wickedness, what you're doing to this weak nation. So they showing you that they know what true justice and judgment is. All Russians are not doing wrong to America, but all Russians gonna feel the same burden, right? They all gonna feel that same burden, right? Because this nation calls themselves executing justice and judgment. Well, guess what? They are proving to you that they know what true justice and judgment is. Their children come up to us saying, well, I didn't do this to your ancestors. I didn't do that to them. So why should I have to suffer for it? But look, all the Russians ain't do nothing to you, but you're going to make all Russia suffer for it. You see that? So they showing you that they know what true justice and judgment is. Right? They showing you So the Lord didn't give his judgments and his statutes to every nation. He hasn't dealt so with every other nation. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 36. And it says what? Or verse 35. Let's start at 34. Weigh therefore thou wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell. It says, and there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. The name of the Lord is not being spoken. Yahweh is not being spoken in any other land, any other nation. That's why the scriptures say, I go to the deep and there's none found there. Meaning what? The depth of the water. No knowledge is found in the depth of the water. Right? The Lord is going, hey, you go to and fro throughout these wicked nations and there's no knowledge of the Lord found there. Right? Because these people are too busy living in deliciousness. Right? They don't speak justice and true justice and judgment. That's why they don't know peace. And they start speaking about peace, it's to flex their muscles and their militaries. Right? That's what peace they talking about. Get down or lay down. That's peace for them. Right? So it says what? In verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy commandment, kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Right. And guess what? It's talking about as a, it's not talking about as a whole, but it's talking about when it all said and done, who puts on righteousness? Those who have been given the law, statutes, and commandments, those who have been afflicted, and those servants who are blinded, right? Who are walking around here blind, right? Those are the ones who receive righteousness. Those are the ones who have been commanded to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, because those are the ones that who we were given to. The Lord hasn't dealt so with any other nation. That's why the Lord is going to choose us. And guess what? Just like certain animals, see, the creation will teach you so much things. Just like that certain animals are meant to be devoured by stronger, mighty animals. Animals that don't go to the gym. Animals that don't go to the gym and exercise, man. The Lord has created animals that are devoured, and he created animals that devour, right? And the Lord has created us to be strength. But guess what? We're going to be greater than animals because we're going to control and tell them what to do. Just like we control and teach animals, we're going to control and teach these beasts. Because, hey, guess what? Y'all have had power throughout the earth, and y'all did nothing but wickedness. That's why the Lord is going to bring you under subjection under us, and because the Lord has chosen us, the vessel unto honor and not the vessel unto dishonor. Just think about it with the creation. You look at the tiger, right? He has power over many animals, right? That's the glory that the Lord, the portion that the Lord gave that tiger, right? And it can't be changed. That judgment cannot be changed, right? So the deer is not going to be like, all right, I'm going to get strong and win. That's why the wicked put out movies and stuff that overthrows, right? They put out movies and whatnot that overthrows the creation of the Lord, which is wickedness and folly. See, that's our people being seduced with things like that, loving and believing a lie, right? The Lord, the creation, it even teach you. That's why the Genesis is a part of the law, right? Right? Just like the tree teaches you and the fruits teach you that man shall not lay with man, woman shall not lay with woman, right? The actual fruit trees and the creation that the Lord made is totally against the wickedness of this world, man. That's why that is the law. Genesis is a part of the law, just by looking at the creation alone, right? So the Lord ain't dealt so with any other nation. He chose us. Just like he give power and a portion to certain things in the creation, certain glory to the things in his creation, guess what? He gave glory to us. The Father of spirits, right? Who love all spirits to do what? His will, his purpose, to serve his purpose. Just like he chastised us, beat us down, let us be put into to the subjection of the wicked. He owns the wicked. The deceived and the deceiver are his. It's his glory to make them do what he has set them up to do, which is to be under us, the Israelites, the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. All these other nations are going to be under us. That's what he created them to do. And he's going to love to have it so. Right? So it says what? If everybody was equal, then all animals would be equal. If everything was equal, all trees would be equal. If all plants was equal, every plant would have the same beauty as the other plant. but we are all different. Some are greater than others. See that? So that's what the Lord is going to in that understanding, right? So it says what? It says he made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them. So let's go back up to verse 11. It says what? Actually 10. It says, and the elect shall praise his holy name. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. That was our heritage. That was our portion. That was the things that we're supposed to keep, right? And it says what? He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard the glorious voice. And guess what? Our people actually heard Yahweh's voice, right? Our people actually heard Yahweh saying that Yahweh Shah is his son in whom he is well pleased, right? We heard his voice by the prophets that spoke. When Moses, look at the mighty act. When Moses, in the book of, let's go to that real quick. Book of Numbers, chapter 16. You see, nations are not, certain people are not used to brothers out here believing and reading, rightly dividing the spirit of truth, rightly dividing the word of truth. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the so-called Mayans, Incas, and Native American people, they got to realize that the Lord is calling justice to these people who conquered your land. But our people they don't care about that, man. Our people don't seek justice and judgment. Our people don't seek the judgment of the Lord, right? So anyway, let's keep going. This is Numbers chapter 16. Numbers chapter 16. Look at this mighty work that the Lord did. Now, Numbers chapter 16. This is when Korah gathered against Korah and the men that were with them, that followed them, that were in the camp of Israel, followed to do a wicked thing against Aaron, right? Spoke against Aaron, right? So let's start at Numbers chapter 16 and verse 14. It says, moreover, thou hast brought unto us a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance. It says, that for moreover, thou hast not. This is what Korah is saying. It says, thou hast not brought us into a land that flows with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of the fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? Will thou not come up? It says, so they accusing Moses and Aaron, right? Saying that y'all didn't fulfill what y'all said was going to happen for us in the land of wickedness. That's why you have to have patience, man. Right? And it says, and Moses was very wroth and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. It says, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. So let's go down to 19. It says, and Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle, being disobedient, going against the Lord's word and going against the Lord's elect. And it says what? Against the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O Yahweh, the power of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and thou would be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah and Dathan. So separate yourselves is what he was saying. So this is what Moses said. And Moses said, hereby shall ye know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them in mine own mind. It says, if these men die of the common death of all men, it says, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, meaning they die by natural causes, right? Let's go to 30. It says, but if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open up her mouth and swallow them up with all that pertain unto him, and they go down quick to the pit, it says, then shall ye understand that these